At the Fox 5 Amplified table with Carla Salinas, and we're going to talk about a couple profiles that you've done lately. That's one of the nice things about your reporting is that you are out there and you do a lot of profiles of people, specifically those in the Latino community who are doing things that are unprecedented, especially in one of these cases, or both of them, really. And it's great to show these people off to the community at large. So let's start off with the Cirque dancer that you interviewed. Now, obviously, people here in Vegas, most of them have been to a Cirque show at some point or another, here or elsewhere, because they're all around the world. And you see all these people doing all these crazy things, and you're like, wow, how do they do that? Well, we got a homegrown guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a Vegas local. His name is Nicolas Martinez. He's new to the Cirque team, so he's actually performing over at the Mad Apple. I don't know if you've been
No,
yet.
mm-mm.
Okay, so it's this really cool show. It's kind of like a variety show, if you will. But it's different than the other Cirque shows that I've been to because there's just, I mean, so much dancing. There's a comedian involved. There's obviously still the acrobats, but Nicolas, ever since he was young, his dream was to be on Cirque du Soleil. And he was born and raised here in Las Vegas. He went to an art school here. So he always knew, hey, I want to be a dancer. But the biggest dream that he's ever had was to be a dancer on Cirque. And so recently, just a few months ago, he achieved that dream. And he's now a dancer at Mad Apple. And, it's funny the way that I found this story because I'm a part of the Facebook group Latina Moms of Las Vegas. Got to give them a shout out.
And let me guess, his mom was on there bragging.
Exactly, of
Okay,
course,
good.
like a Latina mom does. And so I saw her post. She was like, "I'm so proud of my boy. He just achieved his lifelong dream." Her name was Lynette Martinez. And it's funny because I had already been chatting with her about something else. So I already had her number and I was like, let me call her real quick and see what's going on. And so, yeah, sure enough, she called me and we had a whole conversation about, how important and, special this was to her son.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to Cirque without years and years of practice in your craft and then beyond that to get into this level. So
Right.
he is from here, went to the art school here, but then he must have put in a lot of hours and time to get to the point where he could even try out for something like that.
Yeah, his whole life, really, he's been dancing, and he shared some photos, some videos with us, and you can see, I mean, he was living room dancing, and then they put him in dance classes when he was younger. I think he said he started at something like 5 years old or something like that. I mean, he started when he was really, really young, and he's just always had a passion for it. He loves it so much, and seeing him on that stage, I mean, you just feel the joy immediately. You can see it in his face. He's absolutely living his dream.
Did he tell you about, the mechanics of becoming a Cirque dancer? I mean, because it's pretty crazy some of the things they do.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. He told me that he has rehearsals almost every single day because as a new dancer, you have to
Yeah.
have more rehearsals in there. And so he did tell me that. And I actually got to see him in the show, and he's in practically everything. I mean, I'm so proud of him. I'm not even his mom, and I'm like, oh, he looks so happy dancing up there. He told me that his favorite part was when the basketball players come out. So if you've seen the show, you know that the basketball players, they come out, they do their acrobatics, but on the background, he's dancing and he's hip hop dancing. And so not only does he do hip hop, he does contemporary, he does everything under the sun. And so the audition was a very vigorous process, but he did it. He was.
Did it? He's in there.
Hmm.
Did he talk at all about the representation? I mean, I don't think when you think of Cirque du Soleil, do you think of Latinos a lot in that?
Right.
I mean, he's got to be one of a few or a growing number of Latinos in that.
Yeah, and he did get, a little emotional about that when I did speak to him because, it's hard being a Latino dancer. There's a lot of you know, preconceived ideas of what a man dancing should look like or things like that. But he told me that his parents were always very supportive of him because, there really isn't a lot of Latino dancers, especially male dancers.
Mhm.
And but his parents just said, forget that. We don't care about
Mhm.
any
Go
of
for it.
that. Just go for it. But he did tell me, that he went through a lot of bullying because of that. But he came out on top.
So he's reached his dream of being in a Cirque du Soleil show, but he's maybe got bigger shows that he wants to be part of. What does he think is next? Did he tell you?
He did not tell me because I think he was just so excited that he reached his
Yeah.
ultimate goal. And he's so young too. So I'm just like, what are you going to do after this? You've reached your ultimate goal. How do you go from this? So it'll be interesting to follow his career.
All right. Well, we talked about him, and you talked about Latino dancers. We're going to switch gears a little bit here, but not totally, because we're talking about the Super Bowl halftime show, of course, with Bad
Right.
Bunny, and there were a lot of dancers in that. But we had one guy from here in Vegas who was not a dancer per se, but he was in the halftime show. He's a local, and he's a boxer.
That's right. Emiliano Vargas. He's undefeated in the lightweight division, and he's a Las Vegas local. He came out during the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny. He came out in some shorts that had the Mexican flag on it, and he was sort of boxing, his opponent. And yeah, turns out he's from Las Vegas. He has a boxing gym here in Vegas called Vargas Boxing Gym. And so we got to talk to him a little bit after the Super Bowl, and he still couldn't even believe it. He told me that Bad Bunny could have picked anybody. He
Yeah.
could have picked a champion, but he picked him.
Does
a
he know
local.
why he picked him?
He says it was God. He says it was just divine intervention, if you will, because he still has no idea. He recalls he was training for his next fight when his lawyer calls him and he's like, "Hey, do you want to be in the Super Bowl halftime show?" And he was just like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what? The Super Bowl halftime show? Like, yes, of course. Is that even a question?" And so he has no idea exactly why, but he's just so happy. I mean, with the connections that Bad Bunny has, I mean, he could have picked anybody.
What is he? Yeah. What is he going to use this in the future to even grow his business or his boxing gym even more?
I bet so. I bet so. He told me that he has another. I think he's focused on the boxing, really.
Yeah.
I mean, even when he got flown out there, because he had to apparently spend the whole week before there, it was like, well, what about my boxing?
Yeah. What about my business?
And so Bad Bunny's team flew out his whole team and his
Wow.
whole gym, and they basically set up in San Francisco. And
Wow.
they continued to box and train every single day. Boxing, yeah, boxing is no joke, especially when you're undefeated like that.
What did he
So-
tell you about meeting Bad Bunny, or did he get a chance to? I mean, obviously we saw what happened
Yeah.
on the halftime show, but
He met Bad Bunny. He told me that he was the most humble. He recalled every time that he would talk to him, that he would get up from his chair and come and say hello and shake his hand and everything. So he told me that he was just super humble, super human first. They actually played dominoes together. So
Okay.
that's a very Latino thing
Yeah,
to play.
sure. Mhm.
And so, yeah, they actually played dominoes together. He said it was one of the coolest experiences. And I mean, it just looked so cool seeing it, on TV. And I can't imagine being there.
Now, one of the things I saw after you did the story, it wasn't in the story. You should have had more of it in the story. Was I saw this social media video of you
That's
getting
right.
the gloves on.
Hmm.
Did you learn any boxing moves while you were in the gym?
You know what? A little bit. A little bit. He did teach me how to throw a punch, and he
Okay.
was so sweet about it. He was like, "Let me go get
He
my
probably
personal."
saw your Las Vegas Metro Police
Right.
training and thought she
mhm.
needs to learn how to throw a punch.
Right. That's probably exactly what happened. He was so sweet. He went to go get his personal gloves from his car because he was like, "No, let me get you like my
Oh,
gloves.
okay.
I got the VIP treatment." And so he put his gloves on me and he told me that so what I do is, you have to be here.
Cover your face. right?
Okay? You
Yeah.
have to be here and then throw the punch
All right.
like that. And I didn't know that. And so every time I would throw the punch, I'd be like, "Ugh," right? And he's like, "Okay, but you're doing it right here. It's over here. You're going to get hit." And so it's a lot to think about when you're throwing punches. I mean, one who's not used
I was
to.
going to say, I mean, if it's your job to be a boxer,
Right.
you think about it. If you're in the streets, let's hope you're not having to box at all.
Right.
But yes, as always, especially in your profession, protect the face.
Protect the face.
Don't let the face get hit.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing those stories about the profiles that you did. They're both available here on Fox 5 Vegas Plus and fox5vegas.com. and she's going to continue her boxing skills.
Right.
Thanks for being with us, Carla.
Thank you, Tom.